Angie. This is Persuaders Season 1, and we're going to review this episode using my space system: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get. The judge is back in this one, finally. I've got to have him back. There is no mistaken identity in this one. I'm going to give the storyline a 1.5 just for those two factors alone. No, this was actually a pretty good story. There's a movie called Angels with Dirty Faces, which is one of the better movies of James Cagney, and James Cagney has done tons of great movies, and he's my favorite actor. Great movie about two kids kind of grow up separately. This sort of reminds me a little bit of that. You've got the one guy, they were friends. So Angie and Danny Wilde were friends as kids. Danny became this big rich guy, and Angie became this assassin, but Danny doesn't believe that he is an assassin, and that's where this story it lies here. There's this union boss. They're looking to kill him. They've hired Angie. He's got this really beautiful assistant actress girl who helps him out. They're at the Cannes Film Festival, which is cool, and they're looking to take this guy out, and the judge wants Brett and Danny to stop it. Danny doesn't believe that it's his friend. And then it plays out in the way you think it would play out, but it's done in a very, very cool way with a lot of back and forth between the two characters of Danny and Brett. And I'll get to the character section because they've got some great dialogue. But yeah, very well done. It's predictable, so I'm not giving it a full 2 out of 2, but I'll give it a 1.5 because it's definitely better than the average episodes that we've been seeing lately. The pacing is also going to be 1.5, same sort of reason. You find out very quickly that Angie is the assassin, so it doesn't kill the pacing, but it does take it down a little bit because then you're just watching things play out in the way that you know they're going to play out versus being on the edge of your seat wondering what's going to happen. I'll give the artistry a 1. There's some decent locations. There really isn't any fighting or stunts, not too many in this one, so it was a bit disappointing there. Usually this show has a lot of good fisticuffs, and it usually has a couple of stunts, and Tony Curtis usually does a lot of these great little stunts and falls over stuff, and like it's decent. There's a fight or whatever, but it wasn't like crazy good, but still pretty good. Everything's shot nicely, everything's clear. I love these old shows where everything's nice and clearly shot. The cars look cool. The characters, this is a big one. I'm going to give the characters a 2 out of 2. Angie was a fantastic character. The interplay with Angie and Danny, Tony Curtis, is amazing. And then the Tony Curtis, Roger Moore interplay is very good as well. You really feel bad for Danny when he finds out that Angie is this bad guy. Like, you actually felt bad, and Roger Moore and him having arguments about it, and him saying, listen, you're not looking at the facts. And he's like, oh, what do you know? You just don't like him. What, because he's from the other side of the tracks, that's how you're going to be? And he's like, no, man, you're not getting it. Not everyone's going to be this big saint. And he's like, you remember things of the past thinking, oh, that's how they used to be. He goes, but they never were like that. It was great lines of dialogue, great performances. This is the best out of all the ones that I've watched so far. This has been the best for the acting, because there's this conflict between them, of course, is resolved in a really cool way. Awesome acting in an episode here. I'm going to give it a 1.5 for the enjoyment factor because I really like this one a lot. I think it was really good. No mistaken identity, and actually like a story about the characters. So this one was more a character-driven one than a plot-driven one. So the characters really shined and got a good points on that one. Story got a little bit less points. So 7.5 total for this one. Probably could have been an 8, but it is slightly, once it's revealed to Danny that he's the assassin, then it goes by the numbers from that point on. But everything else is really good in this episode. 7.5, thought it was great. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Please check out the classic movie or classic TV playlist. Got lots of stuff on there. Prisoners on there if you haven't seen that. Star Trek, Blake's 7, so that's a lot of fun. But that's it, everybody. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's it. Until next time.